Hi, bro. So in this session, I'm going to cover how to check the resources. Okay, resources means a disk. Okay, disk use is total amount of disk, then memory, then CPU. Okay, so these are the main things which we need to cover. Do you have any doubts like what resources before I start? Are you there?
But it's like the resource means data.
Yeah, resource means the compute resources. Okay, compute resources means like we have memory. Okay, we have RAM over our machines, we have hard disk that we call disk over our machine. So in disk we store our data. Okay, in
Hmm.
in memory or in RAM, the application stores their data when they are running. Okay, so and in CPU as well, CPU is kind like CPU cores, so that is also helpful for applications to run. So
Okay.
uh, in AWS as well, if you create some machine, it would be like 4 GB memory, 2 core vCPU, or 8 GB memory, 4 core CPU. Okay, and then disk is like 10 GB of disk, 20 GB of disk, 30 GB of disk. Okay, so to check the memory, so to check the memory, what we can do, we have multiple ways to check the memory. First way is this command free hyphen h. Okay, so once you
Hmm.
run this free hyphen h, it will show you data in this form. So this is for
Yes.
this VM, for this machine. Here this MEM is the actual memory. So it is 7.8 GB. Okay, gigabyte. So
Hmm.
you would be aware that no one ever provide complete GB. Okay, so if it is 8
Yeah.
GB, then it will show you 7.8 GB because point 2 are consumed in some other purposes. Out of
Hmm.
this, currently in my machine, this one is used 786 megabyte. Okay, out of that 1.8 GB is free. Now nothing is shared. Now this is buffer cache. Okay, so if you see, there could be one question from you. If we have 780 megabyte used only and total is 7.8 GB, then why 1.8 GB as free?
Yes.
This is because this free is something, this total minus this minus buffer cache. So
Okay.
free is something which is available, okay, straight away, which is available straight away for use. So this is something which is straight. Bro, there is some noise from your end again and again.
No, nice.
Okay. So buffer cache is something, the memory which is in used by some application in their cache, and if needed, okay, if needed, this can get free without impacting any service. So 1.8 GB is something which is free, like which is of no use at moment. This is something which is helping any of the application to run smoothly, because it is any of the application keep data in cache. If you free it, it won't impact anything. It can make a service little slow, but it won't make any impact. So this is the total memory 6.6 GB is total available. So total is 7.8 used this. Available is something which doesn't consider this buffer cache. Why? Because this can be used. This can be used if needed. This is something which is free without doing anything. Okay, this is unused. This is unused. This is something memory used by kernel buffers and page cache, and which can get free. This is total memory
Okay.
installed. This is which we can use, which is available to be used if needed. by clearing this buffer cache. Okay, so there are some commands to clear this buffer cache, and then we can make it 0, and then here as well available will become 6.6 GB. So if ever you run this command free -h to check the memory, then you should check this free and this available. This free shouldn't be less than 100 or 200 MB. If this is less than that, it means your whole memory is sucked by the running application, or else it is sucked by buffer memory, even though it can be used, okay, but it is currently in use as a cache. And if there is only 200 or 100 MB free, then your like the service which you are trying to start can get affected. So for that, what you can do, you can clear your buffer memory and then use it. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
okay, and now this swap. So swap memory is something which is like what you can do is you can define that your disk, okay, so your disk can be used as memory, okay, as some part. So what you can do, you can define that I need 1 GB of my disk to work as memory, okay. That won't be that efficient as of this memory, this physical memory, but it can be used in that case. If you have less memory, okay, you have less, like let's suppose you have 2 GB of memory only, and you want to run some application, just run it. You doesn't you are not concerning about like how fast it will run, how slow it will run. You are just concerning that it should run. Then you can use this swap there. Okay, so what you can do, you can define 1 or 2 GB of swap memory from the disk. So then if currently I have 48 GB of disk, here you can see in the Linux, in the AWS machines, you can see the current usage. So it is
Okay.
48 GB of disk. Then it will become, for use, for available, it will become 46 only, because 2 GB you defined as swap memory.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, brother.
I will cover
Yeah.
these parts later, like how to swap, how to assign a memory as swap, or else how to make this, how to clear this buffer cache. I will cover that part later. Okay,
Okay.
now this is just how much is in use and how much is free, but you would want like which service is using this 786 MB of memory. So for that, what you can do, you can run top command.
Top. Free top or brother? Top command.
You are aware about it?
No, brother.
What happened? Give me a moment. It got stuck. So this machine got stuck. I think I need to reconnect to this.
Okay. Are you using AWS brother now?
Yes, yes, I'm using AWS. Uh, so I'm connecting to that machine again. Okay, connected. Now I'm running top command. So this is the output. Okay. Now here if you see, these are the details at the top, like from how much days this machine is running, how many users are there, how much load is there average. Then this are the CPU and usage parts, like CPU, memory swap part. I will come to this now after this. So for this, first of all, these are the processes which are running. Okay,
Hmm.
so PID is process identifier. Okay, so if this is the process MySQL D, then what is the process ID for that? This. So these IDs are helpful if you want to stop this. Let's suppose there's some process which is something which you don't want to run. Okay, which is some orphan process, which you don't want to run, but it is running and consuming your memory. So you can kill
Brother,
that via here. You can you can type kill command and provide this process ID. It will stop that process. Okay. So
okay.
PID is for process ID or process identifier. User,
Brother,
user,
1 minute, brother.
sorry.
Brother, did you run the top command?
Yeah, I ran the top command. Then this is the,
But I couldn't see here, brother.
okay, okay, give me a moment. Sorry. I think I opened another window and, okay. Are you able to see now?
No, brother. Yeah, okay, brother. Now I am able to see.
Okay, sorry. So this is the PID, process ID. This is the process ID of this process where which is running this command. So if you want to stop this, so let's suppose there's some VM where this MySQL is running, and you thought that this is of no use. I don't want to run it. So what you can do, you can type kill and provide this process ID, which will kill that process. Okay, killing the process means stopping the process. Okay.
Okay, brother.
Now, what is this user? So, this is the user who is the owner of this process, who ran that process. So, if I see this SQL D now, it is running by it get ran by this MySQL user root. So these, like, basically these get fluctuating like that, changed automatically as per the memory and these consumptions. So MySQL D, MySQL for system D owner is, for system D owner is root. So for almost all, root is the user there. Okay. Now PR. PR is the process priority. How much like, what is the priority of that process? If process this PR number is less, okay, 0 or 1, or if minus, so it means it is high priority, as much like it ran as high priority process. If process number is high, it means it ran as less priority one. Okay, so these high priority ones are the ones which get ran when your system starts, when it was created. So kernel is responsible for running these very less priority, uh, the high priority. So these less number high priority tasks, so these are running by kernel. So you are not supposed to stop them. Okay,
Okay,
what you
brother.
need to make sure,
Okay, brother.
if you have to stop some process, you just need to make sure that it doesn't have that zero priority or minus priority.
Okay,
Now
okay,
we
brother.
have this nice ni, this is the nice value. Okay, so
Nice. Okay.
it is again coming to the priority part. Minus 20 is the highest priority, and 19 is the lowest priority. So if this is the, this, if you see this, okay, 9 39 19, this khug paged, so this can get stopped easily. Why? Because its priority is for 39, and this is 19, nice value is, so it doesn't make to use it at any cost. Okay.
Okay,
Now this VIRT, this is one of the important part. This is virtual memory used by this process. So this process is using these much of the KB. Okay,
okay, brother.
these much KB it is using. So it is using around 1.7 MB or whatever, or 17 MB if we calculate it. This is using 16, this is using 16, and this is using like, this is, it seems, 1.6 MB, this is 17 MB, and this is 13 MB.
13.
Okay, or else we can
Okay.
calculate it by, like, dividing by that 1024, right? You are aware about it.
Mm.
Now we have this
Resource means this means.
resident memory size.
Just read. Okay.
So this was the virtual memory used by this is the this is the virtual memory used like by code or everything, code, data, shared libraries of this process. This
Mm.
resident is just used by this process. Okay, so what the scenario here, let's suppose this is MySQL. There could be some libraries which are using some memory. Those will be covered under virtual memory but not under residual. So residual, resident, it is just the one uh, which is used by process, which is used by this process.
Like for what purposes? Like one
So
example.
if you want to know like how much this process, this MySQL D is using, you can
Mm.
check this one. If you want to know like how much this process and its libraries, its dependent services are using, then you can check this one. So this is the important one, this VIRT. You can ignore this RES.
Okay.
Okay, now SHR, this is the shared memory which could be, okay, which is not but which could be shared with other processes. So this much memory we can say it is in buffer and can get shared with other memory if needed.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
now S, this is the status or we can say process state. Tell me like these all are clear or not, first these past ones, any
Yeah,
doubt?
clear, brother. No, brother. But,
If any doubt, tell me. Okay,
yes,
these are the these are the process states. Okay,
yes,
so
means like
pro-
arm standing, brother, is the thing.
state, so state is like
Okay.
what is the current state of this process.
Mm.
Okay, so if you see MySQL D, it has state S. These R, S, I, H, D, T, these are the annotations. Okay, so I will provide
Okay.
you I will provide you that a document which will contain all these datas and I will attach it to the YouTube as well. So these states,
Mm.
these are like R is for running process. R I can't see here. Okay, R is something which is running or runnable, which can get run. S is
Mm.
interruptible sleep. So interruptible sleep means it is sleep. Okay, it is in sleep mode, but it can get interrupted. It can get interrupted when there is an any event.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take example of SQL. This is the process which is running but not doing anything.
Mm.
If someone comes and runs some query, some SQL query, then it can accept that event and then provide the output. Same for this container D. This is in sleep. This is sleeping but can get interrupted if needed. If someone comes and say I need to run the container, then that this can get interrupted and then this service can run. Okay. Any
Okay.
doubts?
No, brother. Like,
If this service is in D, state D, it means it
mm.
can't get interrupted.
Okay.
If
It's like,
yeah,
then what is the use? It's like, but stress, brother, when we can run, if it is D, it's like,
it if it is D, it means it is some input output process, okay, which is in sleep mode, and we need to run some new process now. We can't use that process.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
Any doubts or clear?
Okay, brother, but what is I?
I is I. Okay. Uh, oh, is there right? So I I is basically D. Interruptible. I need to check because I see this first time. I or O. O is there as well. No. I will check and update this I. Okay, I will tell you
Okay.
because I'm seeing this in this VM only in this virtual machine. I never saw it, so I need to check that. Now I have T. Okay, T is any job which is stopped. So if you ever see T there, you won't be seeing T because stopped is processes are not there. But if you see,
Mm-hmm.
it means those are stopped. And if you see Z, then it means it is some zombie process which is terminated. So zombie processes are something which are terminated, but they are not stopped by their parent. Okay, so let's suppose there's some child process of this sequel D which is stopped by this sequel, but it is still running because this doesn't stop that, this haven't stopped that, then it can be D, it can be in Z state here. Okay, now
Okay.
we have percentage CPU, percentage memory. Percentage CPU is like how much percentage of CPU time used since last update. Okay, so this is how much CPU it is using. So this is used basically, you can consider it as how much CPU it is using. So this process is using zero point 0.3 of the CPU. Similarly, system D rest are not using any CPU, so this could be 00001, 00002. That's why it is not visible here.
Okay.
Memory, how much of the memory, physical memory, is being used. So if we have 8 GB of memory and it is using 4.9%, then it could be how much of that? 4%, 1% is 800, no, 1% is 80 MB. So 300 MB something, okay. So this is using 395. So if you see there, this is that 39 like 395, okay.
Mm.
So this is, now this is the time, this time is something till what time this process started. This
Okay.
started 63 days, this 179 days, okay.
Those are days per hours.
Yeah, days,
Okay.
days and hours. 179 days, 19 hours. Okay. Now this is the command, this is the process ID, and this is the command which is running. Okay. So this command gets run as a part of, like, see, if you are running any of the command or any of the process, then there will be one final command which gets run. Okay, so this is that command which gets run. Like if you run, let's suppose you are running SQL, then it will internally interpret the commands whichever are provided for that process, and at last it will run some command. Okay, so this is that command. uh, are you clear about this data?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the top one, this part, this is also very important part, critical part, and you need to make sure to give attention to it. Top is the command which you ran.
Mm.
This is the current time.
Okay.
Okay, so this is in UTC. If you see, this is in UTC.
Mm.
How much, from how much time the system has been running? 689 days, 23 hours, 40 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
How many users are currently logged in?
Mm.
What is the average load?
Elements for
Load means how much services are running here. This denotes 1 minute, this denotes 5 minutes, this denotes 15 minutes. So average load over this machine for last 1 minute this one, for last 5 minutes this one, and for last 15 minutes this one. Okay, so it is showing 0.000.000.00, and you would have one question that we are running the commands there as well, these top and other things. At least there could be some, at least minimal load should be there, right?
Yes,
You could have that query, right? So it could be 0.0001, okay, because these queries whatever we are running are of very minimal impact. Okay,
that
so
is the reason it's not showing.
sorry,
That is the reason it's not showing.
yeah, that is why it is not showing. Okay,
Okay.
even though if you see top command is visible here, sometime it is not. I will come to that part as well. Okay, how to see the port commands there. Now, this tasks. Task means total processes running over the machine. Currently, how many processes are running? 113 processes are not running total. One is running. Which one is running? Top is running. Okay. If you see, this is only R. In state, once top comes here, you can see that. Let's wait for that. See, top is in R, rest are in others. Okay, so this is the only process which is running. 112 are sleeping, either interruptedly or non-interruptedly, but all those are sleeping. Zero are stopped, zero are zombie process. You can't see any Z there. That's why all are zombie. No, none of them is zombie.
Zombie. What is zombie means?
Zombie means again
It's like
the
dead.
processes which are not being stopped by their parent. Like process is actually stopped, but its parent doesn't through the event to like
Okay.
this is stopped. The parent have so see, if you ever see any zombie process, the rule is to kill that process because
Okay.
zombie process is already stopped and is of no use. Now it comes to CPU.
Okay.
This is 0.00 US. US here
Yes,
means
ma'am.
user processes. So how much of the CPU is being used by user processes? 0.2 CPU. Okay, so these are the processes which are running by which got ran by users, either Linux or whichever user Ubuntu is there. So from all users at moment, no processes, no like CPU is being used. 0.0 means system. Okay, the processes which are being ran by system
System.
have 0.2 now. Like these are momentarily at any moment. Okay, so there could be some event fired in any of the process, so it will show here 0.1, 0.2. So you need to make sure this number is not high. Otherwise, your CPU will get. So we have two vCPU, two core CPU, and it is showing 1.8 or 1.9. Then it means the CPU is completely sucked up.
Okay.
Ni. Ni means this nice. Okay, Ni is having nice. So
Same.
percentage of no. See, so Ni again. I'm just telling you nice meaning of Ni. So nice. Okay. So it is percentage of the CPU used by processes which have very which have for which we adjusted the priority. So let's suppose there's your so see, for the specific process, by default, if user is running any service, okay, the priority will be 0, sorry, priority will be 20.
20.
and nice value will be 0 because it ranges from minus 20 to plus 20.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if you want to update the priority, then you can do that, and then that will be visible here. So
Okay.
if you are not adding or updating the priorities ever, so you won't see anything here, and I don't think you will be doing that as well, because this is like, even though I haven't used this much time, sometime when we have to define that this process should run, keep running at any cost, then we have to define this nice value. Now we have id is nothing, basically ideal. Okay, so
Idea means not running.
how much of the CPU percentage is idle? It means 100% of CPU is idle.
Okay.
Higher the value, lesser the load.
Understood.
I don't think you will have any doubt here.
No, brother. Understood.
Zero, this WA. WA stands for weight. It means percentage of
Waiting
CPU.
time.
Weight.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
So it is something, the percentage of CPU which is waiting for input output processes. So it is again 0 because we don't have any process running. So there's no output or input which needs to be provided. So that's why it is 0. HI stands for hardware interrupts, SI stands for software interrupts, and ST stands for stolen. So HI is basically which is handling the hardware interrupts. So being these are the VMs running over cloud, you won't ever see these last 2 points, hardware or software interrupts, because you won't get that much interrupts from hardware or software. You won't get that. And the last one is ST, that means steal or stolen. So it is
Stolen.
basically the percentage of CPU which is being stolen by hypervisor for other virtual processes or other virtual machines. So this will remain just 0.2, 0.1, because all these VMs are dependent. So you won't get that much as well in cloud or your machines. If you run, okay, so there could be one case when you are running hypervisor and you set up some process where you have virtual machines in a place, then, and if you define two virtual machines, then this will be, so if you define 50% for another virtual machine, then it will be 50 here. Basically this is the percentage.
The
So
what is meant by hypervisor? Brother?
hypervisor is nothing. Hypervisor is something which is responsible for managing the virtual machines.
Okay. Okay. Brother.
Okay, so virtual machine is like, let's suppose you have one machine. You want to run multiple operating systems there. You want to run Windows there, and you want to run Linux as well there. So what generally people do is they run both OS by setting some hypervisor and then some virtual application, or even even you want 2 or 3 versions of Ubuntu. So what you will do, you will set up one hypervisor over your Windows machine. There you will define that this machine should get 50%, this machine should get 10% of resources. So this is for that part.
Okay.
So major parts needed here are this one, idle part,
Ideas.
system and user running processes. So
Yes.
system processes won't be much. These will remain stable as well. So this these are the two things. If this value is very less, then it is the concerning point. If this is very high, this is the concerning point.
Okay.
Now I have MB, MIB and MIB swap. Again, these are those same parts which we discussed. This is
Oh,
total memory, this is free memory, this is used memory, this is memory in buffer cache. Okay.
when we run the free edge, we got the same number.
Yeah, see, you have to see this value here. So see, if you come here at this point, you will see, okay, I have total MB 7946. So major ones are this one and this one. So after looking at these two values, you can know, okay, that whether you need to update your machine in the sense, let's suppose this is 7.97945 and here it is 7597. It means only 400 MBs are available because this is used, this can't get free. Okay, then
Yes,
you need to take decision, okay, I have to increase the resources. But if this number is high, this number is very less used one, and this is less, then you can be sure that I can clear my buffer cache and then I can make it free.
okay.
Okay,
Mm.
here MIB swap total 0.0 point 0,
Don't have any,
nothing there, no free,
but
no used. But here if you see, it is available.
how come because we don't have any memory swap? Then how can we see like 6 MB here?
This is something which is just estimated.
Who
Okay,
will estimate the system will estimate that one?
sorry,
The system will estimate the MB free in the swap.
I didn't get you.
You said it is estimated value.
Yeah,
Like how it is estimated, like based upon what, like the system will estimate that memory or like.
so this is basically like like for running some process, so this much memory you need to provide. Okay,
Mhm.
so if you have to run some application in your buffer, in sorry, in your swap memory, then you will need to attach this much of disk, you need to define this much of disk.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
uh, any doubts you have till now?
No.
Okay, so basically to end this you can press Q. Now there's one other, so these things are little complicated here. So there's one other command, htop. This could be available or not, and this is again, if you see how many cores you have, 2 core CPU I have, so core 1, core 2, this is the memory. So this
Okay.
is H means human readable, kind of little more readable. Okay, so if
Mm.
so this won't be available over all machines. So if not available, then you can install it with apt install htop.
Okay.
Here what you can see, 0 1 means 2 core CPU is there, one is not,
Mm.
both are kind of ideal at moment, one is
Okay.
0.70 memory,
Okay.
7.7 GB memory is there, 798 MB is used, total uptime is this, load average is this. So this is something more human readable. Okay, swap
Mm.
0k available, 0k here. Now these are the same, PID, user priority, nice value, virtual, and these things.
Mm.
Okay, SHRS, CPU memory, percentage command. Here you can scroll. Okay, here you can go below like that. If you saw that one, it was automatically updating. Here you can go. Here you can run few more commands. Okay, so if you want to kill some process, you can go to that process and press F9. F9 will kill that process.
Mm.
If you want to increase the priority, then you can do F9, F8. What happened?
Oh, we can give it here in this command.
Yeah, we can give from there. If you want to increase the value, then nice plus. If you want to increase the value, nice minus. Okay, so you can run it from here. F10 is for quit. If you want to search from process search for some process, then press F3. So this is more kind of human readable, but I walk you through with that first one, because you won't be able to see that this, like, that one is available in uh, all flavors of Linux, but this one is not available for everyone. Okay.
Okay.
Now we covered CPU and memory, pretty everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Now it comes to disk. So for checking the disk, how much data is available, how much memory, or how much disk is available, we have multiple commands with this df. So what I will suggest you today as a homework, what you can do, you can play with top. Okay, so top is just one command, but if you want to know, okay, so there could be some there could be some time when you want the higher CPU one or higher memory one, so there are multiple flags which we can provide with top.
Flags means, sir?
Hyphen hyphen or hyphen, these things. Okay, so
Okay.
top hyphen h, then v. So what you can do, so now you know basics, you know everything about top. Now you want it more advanced, so what you can do, you can walk through today like as homework and check that top and h top as well. Now
Okay. Like
df,
these commands, sir?
yeah, I will, yeah, these commands whichever we walk through, you just need to go to more advanced version of them. Let's suppose there you want to just there you want to check the highest memory consuming process, because it was fluctuating, right? You want highest highest memory consuming, then you need it in a ascending order. You want very, you want process which is consuming very less, so you want it in descending order, so make those orders, check the commands to update those orders. Okay, now for checking the disk, there's this df command is there, and these are the flags hyphen h hyphen m. So these are basically, hyphen h is for human readable, hyphen m is for some other purpose like memory, other things. So these are the hyphen h human readable. Okay, hyphen s si in power of 1000 like gbs or these things. So these are the flags which I was talking about. So okay,
Okay.
so I am running df
If you
hyphen
want.
h. So if you see here, we have these much file systems. Okay, so these all other file systems, these are being used by machine, these are being used by kernel or operating system. This is the only one which we are using. Why? How you can identify it? You can identify it by seeing mounted on. So if it is mounted on slash or any of the folder which you want to mount, then it is of your use. If you, by default it is on it will be on slash. So you need to, if you haven't mounted anywhere, so you can check that slash. These are the ones which are being used by OS or others. This is the one. So here size, so file system, this is the file system dev xvda 1, dev xvda 15, size 7595. So this is of our use. 49 GB disk is there, out of that 8.4 GB is in use, 40 GB is available. How much is in use? 80%, and it is maintained on slash. There are multiple command df hyphen ht.
But we are not using this below one, brother.
No, see, these are for other purposes. We will cover these later, like for what. So this is for running user, this is for locking user locks, and this is for slash run. So slash run, it will be like there will be one path slash run. You can access that. Okay, I can access that, but these all things whichever are there, these are being managed by OS or someone else like kernel or OS. We are not supposed to make any change there.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So yeah, that is pretty much about disk. Disk is not. So there is one part which we'll cover tomorrow session, and that is increasing the disk. So if you want to increase the disk, then what you have to do. So that we will cover in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have
Okay,
any
bro.
doubts for today's?
No, bro. As of now, it's clear. And then if I'm running the commands, then I will know.
Yeah. So what you can take as a homework is practice all of these commands and then make sure that these commands have some advanced versions, so try to check them as well. If any
Mm.
doubt is there for any command, then let me know. Feel free to ping me
Okay.
over WhatsApp at moment.
Okay. Okay.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.